The objective of the labor inspection is to further strengthen the implementation of the visitorial and enforcement powers under the Labor Code as renumbered towards securing a higher level of compliance with labor laws and standards and ensuring continuity and sustainability of compliance at workplaces. For this purpose, the Department of Labor and Employment delegates this function to the regional offices with the assurance of a list of labor inspectors who are given the authority of conduct inspection, which covers all private establishments, including their branches and workplaces in the regions.
The regional offices enforce labor laws and social legislation through the conduct of labor inspection, occupational safety and health investigation, and technical and advisory visit. Special inspections may be conducted as may be deemed necessary.
With the provision for mobile devices and gadgets, the DOLE developed an inspection management information system. An important feature of the system is data capture and transmittal from the field in real time, as an electronic checklist is filled up through the use of mobile devices and gadgets. Data are instantly available for viewing and processing to generate reports, statistics, and summons, including real-time monitoring of decent work indicators based on the country's decent work profile. The TAV, or Technical and Advisory Visit, aims to provide assistance to the micro-establishments, or establishments that have 1 to 9 employees, to be sustainable, productive, and competitive. It also aims to transition our micro-establishments to the formal economy that is profitable, while also complying with our labor laws and occupational safety and health standards. There are different ways or modalities to avail TAV. First is the online method. Establishments can enroll in the self-paced technical and advisory modules through our learning management system. For establishments that opted to go with online, they must accomplish the modules within 1 month from the time they registered. Second is on-site. The DOLE regional, field, and provincial offices conduct on-site or face-to-face orientation for the technical and advisory services, wherein micro-establishments are invited to attend. Third is hybrid setup. Establishments can enroll in on-site sessions and attend virtual meetings or webinars using various online platforms like MS Teams, Viber, Skype, Zoom, or Google Meet. The establishment report system was created to streamline the documents and reports required from establishments in the private sector. Several administrative requirements will be submitted through this site as a central platform. Through this system, employers no longer need to physically submit establishment reports to DOLE, since reportorial requirements can be completed remotely through the ERS.
There are various types of report that can be submitted through the establishment report system. These are telecommuting report, job displacement report, flexible work arrangement, 13th month pay compliance report, and employer's work accident or illness report.
The establishment report system ensured the safety of employees of DOLE and its clients by minimizing the risk of contracting the COVID-19, since the need for physical contact has been removed in this process. The objective of the labor inspection is to further strengthen the implementation of the visitorial and enforcement powers under the Labor Code as renumbered, towards securing a higher level of compliance with labor laws and standards and ensuring continuity and sustainability of compliance at workplaces. For this purpose, the Department of Labor and Employment delegates this function to the regional offices, with the issuance of a list of labor inspectors who are given the authority of conduct inspection, which covers all private establishments, including their branches and workplaces in the regions.
The regional offices enforce labor laws and social legislation through the conduct of labor inspection, occupational safety and health investigation, and technical and advisory visit. Special inspections may be conducted as may be deemed necessary.
With the provision for mobile devices and gadgets, the DOLE developed an inspection management information system. An important feature of the system is data capture and transmittal from the field in real time, as an electronic checklist is filled up through the use of mobile devices and gadgets. Data are instantly available for viewing and processing to generate reports, statistics, and summons, including real-time monitoring of decent work indicators based on the country's decent work profile. The TAV, or Technical and Advisory Visit, aims to provide assistance to the micro-establishments, or establishments that have 1 to 9 employees, to be sustainable, productive, and competitive. It also aims to transition our micro-establishments to the formal economy that is profitable, while also complying with our labor laws and occupational safety and health standards. There are different ways or modalities to avail TAV. First is the online method. Establishments can enroll in the self-paced technical and advisory modules through our learning management system. For establishments that opted to go with online, they must accomplish the modules within 1 month from the time they registered. Second is on-site. The DOLE regional, field, and provincial offices conduct on-site or face-to-face orientation for the technical and advisory services, wherein micro-establishments are invited to attend. Third is hybrid setup. Establishments can enroll in on-site sessions and attend virtual meetings or webinars using various online platforms like MS Teams, Viber, Skype, Zoom, or Google Meet. The establishment report system was created to streamline the documents and reports required from establishments in the private sector. Several administrative requirements will be submitted through this site as a central platform. Through this system, employers no longer need to physically submit establishment reports to DOLE, since reportorial requirements can be completed remotely through the ERS.
There are various types of report that can be submitted through the establishment report system. These are telecommuting report, job displacement report, flexible work arrangement, 13th month pay compliance report, and employer's work accident or illness report.
The establishment report system ensured the safety of employees of DOLE and its clients by minimizing the risk of contracting the COVID-19, since the need for physical contact has been removed in this process. The objective of the labor inspection is to further strengthen the implementation of the visitorial and enforcement powers under the Labor Code as renumbered, towards securing a higher level of compliance with labor laws and standards and ensuring continuity and sustainability of compliance at workplaces. For this purpose, the Department of Labor and Employment delegates this function to the regional offices, with the issuance of a list of labor inspectors who are given the authority of conduct inspection, which covers all private establishments, including their branches and workplaces in the regions.
The regional offices enforce labor laws and social legislation through the conduct of labor inspection, occupational safety and health investigation, and technical and advisory visit. Special inspections may be conducted as may be deemed necessary.
With the provision for mobile devices and gadgets, the DOLE developed an inspection management information system. An important feature of the system is data capture and transmittal from the field in real time, as an electronic checklist is filled up through the use of mobile devices and gadgets. Data are instantly available for viewing and processing to generate reports, statistics, and summons, including real-time monitoring of decent work indicators based on the country's decent work profile. The TAV, or Technical and Advisory Visit, aims to provide assistance to the micro-establishments, or establishments that have 1 to 9 employees, to be sustainable, productive, and competitive. It also aims to transition our micro-establishments to the formal economy that is profitable, while also complying with our labor laws and occupational safety and health standards. There are different ways or modalities to avail TAV. First is the online method. Establishments can enroll in the self-paced technical and advisory modules through our learning management system. For establishments that opted to go with online, they must accomplish the modules within 1 month from the time they registered. Second is on-site. The DOLE regional, field, and provincial offices conduct on-site or face-to-face orientation for the technical and advisory services, wherein micro-establishments are invited to attend. Third is hybrid setup. Establishments can enroll in on-site sessions and attend virtual meetings or webinars using various online platforms like MS Teams, Viber, Skype, Zoom, or Google Meet. The establishment report system was created to streamline the documents and reports required from establishments in the private sector. Several administrative requirements will be submitted through this site as a central platform. Through this system, employers no longer need to physically submit establishment reports to DOLE, since reportorial requirements can be completed remotely through the ERS.
There are various types of report that can be submitted through the establishment report system. These are telecommuting report, job displacement report, flexible work arrangement, 13th month pay compliance report, and employer's work accident or illness report.
The establishment report system ensured the safety of employees of Dole and its clients by minimizing the risk of contracting the COVID-19, since the need for physical contact has been removed in this process.
Start na po. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 10 of Webinar Wednesdays of the Department of Labor and Employment, hosted by the Bureau of Working Conditions. I am Glenn Beltran, and I will be your moderator for today's webinar. Our topic for today's webinar is understanding the statutory leave benefits. But before we begin our webinar, let us start with a prayer.
Let us bow our head and put ourselves in the holiness of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Dear Almighty and ever-loving God, we glorify and thank your name. You have showered us with so much blessings, and your presence continuously remind us of your faithfulness and guidance. May we humbly ask you to shower our speaker today of your greatest inspiration, so that he may share the most of his knowledge, his field of expertise, and to his respective topics. May we also absorb the invaluable knowledge, experiences, and put it into practice that we may learn today. Your infinite blessing would mean the success of this webinar. May we be a living witnesses of your genuine love through the enactment of the knowledge acquired through this activity. We ask this in the name of your Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Good afternoon once again, and hello sa ating Facebook Live participants. Para sa ating mga sirs, mga mister, mga ginoo, kuya, palike-react naman tayo dyan. Thank you po. Also, please share this live stream to your Facebook account and use hashtag Webinar Wednesdays. You may also share this to your colleagues, friends, and families para mas marami na po ang magkaroon ng bagong kaalaman. For questions, inquiries can be used the comment section, and this will be addressed by the resource speaker after the lecture. Before we proceed sa ating topic, alamin po muna natin ang functions, services, at programs ng Bureau of Working Conditions. Here's a video presentation we prepared for you.
The Bureau of Working Conditions is mandated to focus on performing policy and program development and performing advisory functions for the department in the administration and enforcement of laws relating to labor standards. Specifically, the BWC develops and prescribes labor standards and policies, programs, and devices relative to its administration and enforcement. It also exercises technical and functional supervision over the Dole regional offices as they conduct administration and enforcement activities in their respective regions. The Bureau also conducts research in aid of safety standards, policy programs, measures and device development on labor standards. And lastly, the Bureau provides knowledge and information services on labor standards data, programs, and enforcement activities. There are 5 flagship programs of the Bureau, namely Labor Inspection, Technical and Advisory Visit, Policy and Program Development, Monitoring of programs such as Construction Safety and Health Program, Technical Safety Inspection. and the last flagship program is a case management. The Labor Inspection Program ensures that private sector establishments employing workers comply with the general labor standards, occupational safety and health standards, and other social legislations intended to safeguard the rights of workers to just and humane conditions at work. This is in line with the visitorial and enforcement power of the Secretary of Labor and Employment under Articles 128 and 129 of the Labor Code of the Philippines, and it is the flagship program of the BWC for ensuring the continuity and sustainability of compliance in all workplaces. Small, medium, and large establishments under the sector's hazardous work, employing children, construction projects, Philippine-registered ships in domestic shipping, fishing vessels, contracting or subcontracting arrangements, subject of SENA referral, anonymous complaint, and request for inspection, and other establishments as may be determined by the Secretary of Labor and Employment are all covered in the Labor Inspection Program. The Technical and Advisory Visit, or the TAV program, aims to build the capacity of community-based micro-establishments towards sustainable compliance with labor standards. It seeks to facilitate easier access to government programs and services instrumental to addressing their compliance gaps, as well as to provide livelihood assistance and productivity training to further capacitate micro-establishments in improving their business operations. There are various training modules offered in TAV, namely General Labor Standards, Occupational Safety and Health Standards, Child and Family Welfare, Productivity Toolbox, and Visit Checklist and Action Plan. The Technical Safety Inspection is the inspection for the purpose of safety determination of boilers, pressure vessels, internal combustion engines, electrical installations, elevators, hoisting equipments, and other mechanical equipments. The Bureau is also responsible for the development of policies and programs. The Bureau takes the lead in the formulation and assurance of timely and relevant policies, guidelines, and advisories relating to general labor standards, occupational safety and health standards, and other social legislations that promote the rights at work, improve working conditions, and guide employers and workers in the private sector. There are other various programs that are handled by the Bureau of Working Conditions: Construction Safety and Health Program, Review and Evaluation of Technical Plans, Processing of Certificate of Appearance of PMEs and PEEs, Work Alert Reporting, Processing of Certificate of No Pending Case, Disposition of Labor Standard Appealed Cases, General Labor Standards and Occupational Safety and Health Queries and Requests for Inspection-related data, Medical Services or Assistance to DOLE personnel. And the BWC is also a member of various committees like NCACL, IACAT, LI Capacity Building Committee, Safety and Health Committee, Mental Health Program, and many more. The Bureau envisions well-guided employers and workers committed to a safe, healthful, and productive work environment, adaptive to industry trends and developments, and equitably enjoying the gains of joint endeavors.
Alright, sana po ay nadagdagan ang ating kaalaman sa mga programa at serbisyo ng Bureau of Working Conditions. We will now proceed to the discussion of our today's topic, understanding the statutory leave benefits. Our speaker is a Senior Labor and Employment Officer of the Bureau of Working Conditions. Everyone, please welcome Ms. Melinda Banaan.
Good afternoon. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Ang ating pong discussion ngayon ay napapaloob sa mga statutory leave benefits na tayo ay maaaring ma-entitled to sa ating araw-araw na paggawa. Okay? So, ang ating labor laws ay mayroong under the Labor Code of the Philippines ay sumasailalim sa mga hours of work, holiday pay, premium pay, overtime pay, night shift differential, service charges, service incentive leave, maternity leave, paternity leave, dito na po tayo, ay mga solo parents leave, victims of VAUSI or violence against women and children, especially for women. Yan po yung mga provisions ng batas para sa ating karapatan on such leave benefits. Okay? Now, ang una nating tatalakayin ay ang service incentive leave. Under Article 95 of the Labor Code of the Philippines, ito ay ang minimum of 5 days leave with pay na maaari tayong makakuha for those employees who have rendered at least 1 year of service in the company. Okay? Ito ay maaaring magamit pa sa mga sick and vacation leave purposes. Ang 5 days SIL naman din po ay maaari ding ma-convert into cash at the end of the year kung sakaling hindi po natin nagamit ito sa loob ng isang taon. Okay? So, sino-sino po yung covered nito? Okay? May exemption po tayo. Ang mga government employees, number 1. Number 2, yung persons in the personal service of another. Yan. Managerial employees. Yung mga officers or members of the managerial staff, yung halimbawa, ito po yung mga, those who are regularly and directly assist a proprietor on managerial activities, okay? Yan, yung mga field personnel, those who are already enjoying this benefit, and those enjoying vacation leave with pay of at least 5 days, and those employed in establishments regularly employing less than 10. Okay? So, ang computation po ng ating SIL ay yung pong ating latest salary. Okay? So, kung halimbawa hindi natin nagamit ang 5 araw na ito for sick leave and vacation leave purposes, mako-convert ito, halimbawa, 610 times 5 days po sa loob ng isang taon. Okay? So, ang next topic naman natin ng leave benefit ay yung maternity leave benefit na under the 105-day expanded maternity law. Okay? So, na-upgrade na po tayo sa dating natatanggap ng mga kababaihan. At ngayon po ay ito ay naging 105 days na or 3.5 months leave with pay. Ngayon, kung sakaling ang kababaihan na ito ay nagkaroon ng halimbawa, miscarriage, siya po ay ma-entitled sa 60 days with full pay pa rin. Ngayon, kung ikaw po ay isang solo parent, ikaw pa rin po ay madadagdagan ng leave under the 105 expanded maternity leave. Hindi lang po 105, kundi additional leave benefit po. Halimbawa, under RA 8972 na, ayan po, 15 days more. Kung halimbawa naman, gusto nating ma-extend. Halimbawa, ang ating mga kababaihan ay nagsasuffer ng halimbawa karamdaman pagkatapos sa kanyang panganak, ang ating pong mga kababaihan ay maaari din naman mag-apply para sa additional 30-day leave kung sakaling kinakailangan niya pang ma-extend ang kanyang maternity leave benefit. Okay? 30 days po yun, pwede niya pong magamit. Paano naman tayo ma-entitled dito sa ating 105 leave benefit? So, yung mga female employee natin, kinakailangan lang naman ma-notify natin ang ating employer sa ating pregnancy. Okay? So, halimbawa na lang, binibigyan natin ng tamang pagkakataon para kung sakaling dumating na yung oras ng ating pangangailangan na ma-avail ang ating maternity leave, katulad ng yung iba nanganganak ng mas maaga, ay makapaghanda naman ang ating mga employer sa maaaring pag-avail natin ng maternity leave benefit. Okay? Ngayon, kung sakaling nagkaroon nga ng halimbawa, hindi natama sa, halimbawa, meron tayong estimated kung kailan tayo manganganak, ito ay ang full payment nito ay maaaring i-advance by the employee. Under RA 11028, meron po tayong ganitong provision na ang ating mga employer ay dapat na makapag-advance once na notify siya ng employee niyan sa kanyang availment ng maternity leave benefit. Okay? So, ang sinasabi, paano tayo ma-entitled kung halimbawa nga, ito na ang ating petsa ng panganak, ang sinasabi po ng SSS, magkaroon tayo ng at least 3 buwan ng monthly contribution on the 12-month period prior to the exigency of the maternity leave. Halimbawa po, dun sa semester of contingency na ito, halimbawa, dumating ng June ka manganganak, so ang semester of contingency mo is from January to June, yan ang semester. Ang kinakailangan lamang, magkaroon ka ng 3 buwan ng hulog bago mag-semester of contingency from January to December of the previous year. Yan po yung kondisyon ng SSS para ma-avail natin ang 105 maternity leave benefit na ito. Okay? Ngayon, ang sinasabi po, maaari din namang ma-reimburse itong halimbawa availment na ito dahil nga kung minsan mayroong pagkakataon na napaaga sa panganganak ang ating mga kababaihan. Okay, so kaya kinakailangan lang naman natin ma-notify lang agad natin ang ating employer sa petsa ng ating mga kapanganakan. Okay? Ngayon, kung halimbawa na lang na ang employer mo ay nag-fail sa pagre-remit ng iyong SSS contribution, syempre, ang SSS ay maaari nating lapitan upang halimbawa na lang dapat ay ma-entitle ka sa 105 days o nakapaghulog ka na kinakailangan sa requirement ng SSS. Subalit, hindi naihulog na employer, siya ay maisang magiging kaso sa SSS. At si SSS ay ino-notify si employer sa ganitong kaganapan. Kaya ang mga kababaihan, maaaring itabi natin ang ating mga pruweba na tayo ay nakaltasan ng SSS contribution para kung sakaling yung payslip na ito ang magpapatunay sa ating contribution na hindi na i-remit sa SSS. Okay? Ngayon, meron tayong provision ng dahil 105 ang main title ang kababaihan sa leave benefits or 3.5 months, meron din namang pwedeng magamit o mai-allocate para sa ating tagapag-alaga. Halimbawa na lang, ang ating partner, kinakailangang matulungan tayo sa ating panganganak, maaari nating i-allocate ang 7 days ng ating entitlement to 105 days. So, ang matitira na lamang ay 98 days para sa kababaihang nanganak at 7 days na allocation para po sa halimbawa sa kanyang asawa na maaring makaagapay niya sa kanyang panganak. Okay? Ngayon, kung ikaw po ay member ng SSS, sa iyong panganak, ikaw naman po ay maaari din namang maka-avail ng benepisyo mula sa Philippine Health Insurance Corporation or PhilHealth. Okay? Kung halimbawa lang na hindi ka nakapaghulog ng 3 monthly contributions on the 12-month period prior to the semester of contingency. Yan. Kasi yung ibang kababaihan na bago pa lang naghahanap buhay, hindi pa sila nasasakop ng ganong patakaran, maaari din naman silang makagamit ng kanilang benepisyo mula sa PhilHealth. Okay? Ngayon yung halimbawa naman may mga kababaihan na nagkaroon ng mga pending administrative case, ayan, meron din naman provision ng ating 11028 na meron din naman silang, maaari din naman silang magkaroon ng entitlement. Ayan. Doon sa 105 days. Okay? Kung may pending admin case sila. Ngayon, kung may maternity leave benefit tayo, meron din naman tayong paternity leave. So, sa ating paternity leave, ang sinasabi, magkaroon ito ng at least 7 days sa ating mga tatay. No? Ito ay para lamang sa mga married male employees. Ibig sabihin, kung kasal at nanganak ang ating asawa, ang ating tatay ay magkakaroon ng or may entitled to 7 days leave with pay under the law. Okay? Subalit, ito ay ma-avail lamang ng ating mga kalalakihan kung ito ay under the first 4 deliveries of the lawful wife. Halimbawa, pang-5 anak na yung i-apply natin. So, lumampas na siya sa first 4 deliveries ng kanyang lawful wife. Kung kaya, hindi na po siya makaka-avail. However, maaari din naman niyang magamit yung katulad ng sinabi nating allocation from RA 11028 or the 105 expanded maternity leave kung sakasakaling ang ating mga tatay ay kinakailangan matulungan ang ating mga nanay sa kanyang panganganak. Okay? So ano ang conditions for entitlement para sa paternity leave? So, ikaw ay isang empleyado at the time of delivery of the child. Okay? So, ikaw ay cohabiting with spouse. Okay? So, ikaw ay nag-apply. Kung ikaw ay mag-a-apply ng paternity leave, ito ay within the reasonable period. Siyempre, ano ba yung purpose ng ating paternity leave? Ito ay upang makatulong tayo sa ating asawang manganganak or nanganak. Kung kaya't, ito yung reasonabling panahon sa pag-a-apply ng paternity leave. Okay? So, kung ang kanyang asawa nga ay nanganak, halimbawa, given birth yan, nanganak siya, or ang ating asawang babae ay nagkaroon ng miscarriage. Maaari din naman ma-avail ng mga tatay ang ganitong leave benefit. Ngayon, kung meron tayong maternity leave, siyempre may partner na paternity leave, no? At ang susunod doon ay ang solo parental leave, or ito yung nag-a-apply para sa mga solo parent. Sa panahon ngayon, tanggapin natin na marami na ang instances na may kababaihan na solo parent, or ang mga kalalakihan na naiwan na ng kanilang partner o ng asawa ay isang naging solo parent rin. Okay. So, under Republic Act 8972 on the Solo Parents Welfare Act provides for benefits and privileges to solo parents and their children. Okay? Okay, it aims to develop a comprehensive package of social development and welfare services for solo parents and their children to be carried out by the DSWD as the lead agency or various government agencies pa rin na pwedeng makasakop sa ating solo parents. Okay, welfare benefit. Now, sino-sino ba itong ano-anong mga kondisyon itong nagsasabi para ma-cover ng Solo Parents Welfare Act? Okay? Ito yung ang unang kondisyon, ang isang kababaihan na nanganak as a result of rape. Yan. Siya ay pwedeng mag-apply ng solo parent, okay? Leave benefit, merong spouse na siyempre alam natin, sumakabilang buhay, siyempre naiwan ang ating, halimbawa ang nanay, naiwan ang kanyang asawa, ay di solo parent na si nanay. Ngayon, kung ang nanay naman ay naiwan din ng asawa at ang asawang lalaki ay nakulong, halimbawa na lang, siya rin naman din ay ma-entitled sa ating Solo Parents Welfare Act. Okay? Or yung mga spouses na nagkaroon ng physical and or mental incapacity. Yan. Okay? So meron din namang instances ng declaration of nullity or annulment of marriage. Sa panahon ngayon, meron na tayong batas na nagsusulong ng annulment ng ang marriage na mag-asawa. Okay, so maaari na rin itong ma-avail ng both parties. Okay, so yan ang mga kondisyones ng kung paano ma-cover tayo ng ating Solo Parents Welfare Act. Ngayon, anong benefits? Ang parental leave ay 7 working days with pay. Okay. Saan naman magagamit itong mga solo parents leave na ito? Okay. So, kung minsan, halimbawa, sa pangangailangan ng mga anak yan, na kinakailangan ma-attenda ng mga magulang. Okay? So, para ma-entitle, kailangan lamang na nakapag-render ng 1 year of service itong ating magulang, na i-notify niya ang kanyang employer na siya ay mag-a-avail nitong leave na ito, solo parent leave. At kinakailangan din naman ipresenta niya ang kanyang solo parent ID na makukuha niya mula sa DSWD. Okay. So, ang susunod naman nating pag-usapan ay ang especially benefit for women. Ito yung Sa ibang salita, Magna Carta leave benefit. Okay? So, ang special leave benefit for women ay maaring ma-avail ng mga kababaihan na mag-undergo ng operation due to gynecological disorder. Yan yung qualifying condition para ma-avail natin itong 2 months na ito na leave benefit for women. Okay? So ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng gynecological disorder? Okay? So that would require surgical procedures such as but not limited to dilation and curettage. Yung mga ganon sa reproductive system, yan. Yung mga reproductive organs, nagkakaroon ng surgery, halimbawa removal of the cervix, ganyan. Yan ang madalas na kondisyon para ma-avail ito. Yan. Meron din naman sinasabing, this shall also include hysterectomy. O yan, tinanggal. Yan, ovarytectomy and mastectomy sa bust. Kung halimbawa, nagkaroon ka ng operasyon sa bust, mastectomy. Okay? So, paano natin ma-avail itong specially benefit na ito? Ang sinasabi, nakapag-render lamang itong ating kababaihan ng at least 6 months. Continuous aggregate employment service for the last 12 months prior to the surgery. So, ganun. 12 months bago, halimbawa, mag-undergo ng surgery, yan, nakapag-trabaho siya ng at least 6 months. Okay? So, nakapag-file siya ng application within the reasonable period from the expected date of surgery. Okay? So, siyempre, sa kakapa-check up natin, mga kababaihan, malalaman naman natin ang kondisyon ng ating karamdaman. Halimbawa nga, sa mastectomy, kung hindi na napagaling ng mga gamot at ang kinakailangan ma-remove na, diba? Matanggal na yung nagkokos ng sakit na ito. Halimbawa, cancer yan. Kinakailangan na mag-undergo ng surgery at ang i-apply natin ay ang especially benefit for women. So, okay. So paano naman po? Paano naman po kung nagkaroon ng sa panganganak ng kababaihan ay natuklasan pala na mayroon din siyang karamdaman sa kanyang reproductive system. Oo. Kaya ang sinasabi dito, especially benefit versus maternity leave. Okay? So, ang sinasabi kong 105 days tayong naka-maternity leave. At during sa ating check-up, diba, pag nanganganak, may check-up, follow-up sa doktor, na-discover na mayroon palang, halimbawa, mga cysts, ganyan, sa ating uterus, ganun. So, ang susunod na gagawing procedure ay mag-undergo na siya ng surgery. So, ang sinasabi dito, the woman employee is entitled to the difference between the special leave benefit and the maternity leave benefit. Paano ba to? Paano ba yung sinasabing difference? O, halimbawa, nanganak tayo 105 days. On the 100 day, natitira mo 5 na lang, no? Ng leave benefit mo. Na-discover na kailangan ka palang maoperahan agad-agad kasi halimbawa na lang emergency procedure. So surgery na tayo. Mayroon kang natitira sa iyong maternity leave ay 5 days. Ngayon, mag-a-avail ka na ng Magna Carta or special leave benefit ng halimbawa, mag-a-under ko ng surgery at sinasabi ng doktor na ikaw ay pwedeng mag-avail ng 60 days special leave benefit kasi maoperahan ka sa uterus. Ganon. So, paano ang pagtingin natin dito? Dahil 5 days na lang ang natitira sa maternity leave mo at kinakailangan mong maoperahan, therefore, yung 60 days na dapat ma-entitle ka ay mababawasan ng 5 araw. At ikaw ay meron na lamang na 55 days para sa special leave benefit mo. Yan yung sinasabing difference ng SLB and maternity leave benefit. However, kung nagkataong sa iyong panganganak, halimbawa, nakita ng doktor na cesarean ka, at mayroong nakitang mga cysts sa ovary mo at kinakailangan ding magkasabay na maoperahan ang iyong ovary sabay ng panganganak, paano ang treatment natin ngayon ng difference? Okay? Ang special leave benefit ay 60 days, ang 105 days naman para sa maternity leave. Titingnan natin ito na dahil nagkasabay, napaloob ang 60 days special leave benefit sa pag-a-avail ng maternity leave. Kung kaya, wala nang difference dahil nagkasabay na sa pag-avail ang isang nanganak na may ovarian cyst na tatanggalin. Yan. Yan ang pagtingin yan. Okay, next po. O, paano naman ang paggamit ng SLV? Specially benefit ulit tayo or Magna Carta. Sa SSS, sickness benefit, kung sakaling nagkasabay, halimbawa na operahan ka nga. So, ang specially benefit ay granted by the employee o binibigay ito ng employer. Okay? So, while kung nagkasakit ka at dahil miyembro ka ng SSS, ikaw din naman ay maaari ring maka-avail ng iyong sickness benefit mula sa SSS. So, ang sinasabi lang, magkaibang ahensya ang nagbibigay ng benepisyo na ito kung sakaling na-encounter mo na ikaw ay mag-a-avail ng especially benefit at kailangan mo rin namang malaman kung pwede ka rin namang maka-avail mula sa SSS. Okay? Ngayon, kung meron naman na tayo sa ating kumpanya ng mga benepisyo or nasasaad sa company policy na meron na rin naman silang ibinibigay na mga ganitong katulad na benepisyo. So, ang sinasabi dito, ito ay maaari din namang ma-avail kung ito ay halimbawa, the grant of the special leave benefit under the law is in recognition of the fact that patients with gynecological disorder needing surgery require a longer period for recovery. So, kung may mga leave benefit na sa kumpanya, ito ay isang dagdag na benepisyo. Okay? Under the existing laws. So, kung halimbawa naman, meron na rin similar benefits sa CBA yan. Shall also be considered halimbawa as compliance. Halimbawa na lang, no? Dahil 60 days po ang ating SL o specially benefit, pero nakasaad sa kanilang CBA na mayroong katulad na benepisyo noong specially benefit yan. I-recognize po natin yan. Okay? Pero kung may lesser benefits naman, okay, the company shall grant the difference. Okay? kung halimbawa meron similar or equal benefits naman, yung leave benefits which are of the same nature and purpose, pwede rin namang iugnay sa special leave benefit. Okay po? Paano ang pagbabayad ngayon? Halimbawa, ng ating special leave benefit, tandaan natin na ito ay magmumula sa ating mga employer. Okay? Kung halimbawa nga, we are recovering from surgery, halimbawa nagkaroon tayo ng mastectomy, yan, or nagkaroon tayo ng operation sa ovary, ganyan, at kinakailangan nating mag-recover, ito, siyempre, magno-notify siya sa kanyang employer na hindi siya muna makaka-report for work. Yan. Yan. At ang gagamitin niyang leave ay ang Magna Carta o special leave benefit. Okay? Ngayon, dahil ito ay katumbas ng arawang sweldo ng empleyado, yan, maaari niyang matanggap ang kanyang sweldo katumbas ng special leave benefit na yan habang siya ay nagre-recover. Yan. Kaya't ang kwenta o ang matatanggap niyang benepisyo ay katumbas ng kanyang sweldo sa panahon ng kanyang pag-avail ng special leave benefit. Okay. Ito naman ang isa pa nating leave for victims of VAWC or victims against women and their children. So under RA number 9262. Okay, sa panahon ngayon, napapansin natin na marami tayong naririnig na mga report mula sa mga TV stations, yung mga naabusong mga kabataan. Yan yung mga victims ng violence. Yung mga isinasakop, itinatali ng patuwad sa puno, yung mga ganun-ganun. Sa ating kasalukuyang panahon, under Republic Act number 9262, ito po ay inire-regulate na. Okay? So, ito po ay isang leave with pay up to 10 days. Extendable when the necessity arises as specified under the protection order. Okay, so ano ang requirement? Certification from the punong barangay or kagawad or prosecutor or the clerk of court as the case may be that an action is pending. So, ang sinasabi dito, availment is with the option of the woman employee. Halimbawa lang, abuso ng tatay ang kanyang anak. So, si nanay nag-file ng kaso laban sa kanyang asawa na halimbawa nabugbog ang bata. Yan. Yan. So, anong gagawin niya? Pupunta sa barangay at mag-file siya ng case laban sa ginawa ng kanyang asawa. Yan. Okay? So, ano-ano ito? Ano itong mga acts na ito na covered under the law? So, yung physical violence, alam na natin yan. Yung mga nasaktan ang mga kabataan, halimbawa, yan, physical violence. Ngayon, kung meron din namang psychological violence, yan, or economic abuse na nangyayari sa isang pamilya, yan. Yan yung mga category na sinasabing mako-cover ng VAUSI law. Okay? So, papaano naman din paano ang availment? Slide. Okay. So, Ang ating vowsy po ay, iba ba? Yan. Ay 10 days po. Yan. So, ito itas mo. Ang summary po ng ating ang summary po ng ating mga leave benefits ay unang-una ang service incentive leave. Okay? 5 days po yan, taon-taon, para po sa mga empleyado na nakapag-render na ng 1 year of service. Okay? 5 days po yan. Kada taon. Ngayon, ang maternity leave naman, isang female employee, okay, whether or not married siya or hindi, ay maaari siya maka-avail mula 60 days for, halimbawa, nakunan, hanggang 120 days. 105 para sa nanganak ng buhay. So, ibig sabihin, kung 60 days, nakunan o patay, pag 105, buhay ng ipinanganak, so 105 ang kanyang entitlement. So 120, nadagdagan para sa mga solo parent. Okay? Next, yung paternity leave naman, ang sinasabi, 7 days. Okay? Na maaaring magamit ng ating kalalakihan under Republic Act 8187. Pero, ang unang kondisyon para sa paternity leave ay sila ay mag-asawa. Okay? So, kung solo parents naman under RA 8972, ito yung mga para sa naiwan na parent, naiwan upang mangalaga ng kanilang mga anak. Yan. Ang maaari niyang ma-avail ay 7 days. Okay? Para naman sa mga victims ng vowsy or violence against women and children under RA 9262, okay? So, meron siyang 10 days na magagamit kung siya ay halimbawang nag-file ng kaso upang magamit niya, makapag-file siya ng leave sa kumpanya, at maka-attend siya ng mga hearing, yung ating naging biktima ng vowsy. Yan, tuloy-tuloy kasi kung minsan ang appearance sa mga barangay, kung kaya't binibigyan siya ng 10 araw upang mairaos niya ang procedure ng court sa pagresolba ng kaso ng kanyang pagiging victim dito sa vowsy law. Okay? At ang especially for women naman, yung sinasabing Magna Carta Law, meron tayong hanggang 2 months para magamit ng mga kababaihan na nag-undergo ng gynecological disorder, pero ito ay nangangailangan lamang ng yung certification ng physician para mapatunayan na kinakailangan niya mag-leave ng hanggang kung ilang araw, up to 2 months kada taon. Kung kaya't yung 60 days per year lamang ang pwede niyang ma-avail kung siya ay mayroong paggagamitan ng ng special leave. Okay? Diyan po nagtatapos ang ating presentation. Salamat po.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Melinda, for the very thorough and informative discussion tungkol sa leave benefits. I'm sure na maraming natutunan ang ating mga viewers. We are now going to start answering the questions submitted by our viewers. Of course, this is to be addressed by our lecturer herself, Ms. Melinda. Let's start with the first question. Applicable po ba itong mga leave sa mga contractual and project-based employee?
Opo. Ang ating mga leave benefits ay maaaring magamit ng ating mga empleyado. Okay?
Alright. Thank you for addressing that question, Ma'am Melinda. Sana naging malinaw po sa ating mga viewers, lalo na po sa nagtanong. For the next question, can an employee on maternity leave who work from home upon the request of her employer be compensated in addition to the maternity leave benefits she already received?
Kung halimbawa ang mga women employee ay nag-avail ng maternity leave benefit, siya po ay nangangailangang makaregain ng kanyang health, kung kaya't siya po ay maaaring mag-avail nito habang siya ay nagpapalakas. So, ang ating pong mga empleyado ay binigyan ng 105 days para ma-ensure na siya po ay balik sa dati niyang kalusugan. Ay maaaring maka-avail nito from the SSS dahil siya ay miyembro ng SSS at mula sa employer kung mayroong natitirang difference from her salary. Yan yung mga maaari niyang makuha mula sa pag-avail ng maternity leave benefit. Okay?
Right. Napaka-clear po ng sagot ni Ma'am Melinda. I hope that's clear. And for the third question, aside from the maternity benefits from the SSS, need pa rin bang swelduhan pa in full ang employee ng employer until makabalik siya sa work?
Develop na kung halimbawang ang women employee na ito ay mayroon pang difference sa salary mula sa pag-avail niya ng maternity leave sa SSS, siya ay may makukuha pa mula sa employer niya. Yan. Yung difference na sinasabi, ito ay ang basihan ay ang kanyang buwanang sweldo, bawasan mo ng nakuha sa SSS, yun ang salary differential na maaring makuha niya mula sa employer. Okay?
All right. Okay, moving on for the next question. Can employer apply a maternity notification or benefit for employee whose pregnancy is 3 years back?
Yes po. Ang sinasabi ng SSS, ang maternity leave ay maaaring makuha ng isang female employee basta siya po ay magno-notify po sa SSS ng kanyang availment. Okay?
Okay. For the next question, I would like to ask lang if tama bang ikaltas ng company yung maternity benefits na makukuha dapat kay SSS?
Ang sinasabi po sa ating guidelines, ang maternity leave na ito ay maaaring i-advance ng employer sa empleyado. At ito ay kanya namang marireimburse sa SSS. Kung kaya, kung ano po yung benepisyo na dapat na matanggap ng isang empleyado, babaeng empleyado, ay maaari niyang makuha agad. Yan.
Very precise po ang sagot ni Ma'am Melinda. Sana po ay maliwanag po sa ating mga sa nagtanong po. And for the next question, pwede po ba pagsamahin ang pag-avail ng special leave for women at maternity leave kung halos magkakasabay na ang pag-opera sa gynecological disorder at sa CS na panganganak?
Katulad ng paliwanag kanina, kung nagkasabay ang panganak at nakita ng mga doktor na meron siyang halimbawa gynecological disorder, halimbawa na cesarean siya, nakita na maaaring magkasabay na gawin, halimbawa, ang CS at ang operasyon sa gynecological. Ang isang female employee ay entitled lamang sa difference para ma-avail niya ang special leave benefit. However, kung nangyaring nanganak siya ng buhay, 105 days, ang 60 days special leave benefit ay napaloob na sa 105 days. Kaya ang maaari lamang makuha ng isang female employee ay yung benepisyo niya under the maternity leave law.
Okay, for the next question. Regarding paternity, di ba pong anak, pero first time palang mag-claim sa company, entitled po ba siya?
Sabi po ng batas, ang paternity leave ay ma-avail lamang sa first 4 deliveries ng kanyang lawful wife. So kung pang-5 anak na ito ng kanyang wife, nag-exceed na po siya sa sinasabing availment para ma-avail niya po yung paternity leave. Okay?
Okay. For the next question. Mako-consider po bang solo parent kapag hindi married?
Sinasabi po sa solo parent ay yung naiwan ang isang parent upang mangalaga sa kapakanan ng kanyang mga anak. So kung solo parent ka, mag-isa ka na lang, di ba? Kaya hindi naman sinasabing itong hindi married. Solo parent upang mangalaga ng kanyang mga anak. Okay?
All right. For the next question. Considered solo parent po ba kung hiwalay na sa asawa pero may bago ng kinakasama? Pwede pa rin po ba mag-avail ng solo parent leave ng employee kapag ganun po?
Ang sinasabi po ng batas, ang solo parent nga ay naiwang mag-isang magtaguyod ng pamilya itong naiwang parent. Ngayon, kung ang sinasabing hiwalay na sa asawa yon, di ba, naiwan na siya para magtaguyod. Pero nagkaroon siya ng bagong kinakasama, no? Ibig sabihin, wala na sa kanya yung pagiging solo kasi meron na siyang kasamang muli sa pagtaguyod ng pamilya. So sa DSWD naman, ichine-check din naman ito sa DSWD, sa solo parent ID, kung talagang nag-iisa siya para magtaguyod ng pamilya. Okay?
Alright, for the next question. Kapag solo parent ba, okay lang late nang pumasok? Wala po bang violation dito?
Meron tayong mga kumpanya na kino-consider ang mga ganitong sitwasyon ng parent sa pagpasok. Subalit, ito ay napapaloob pa rin sa policy ng kumpanya kung hanggang ilang beses ka maaaring malate sa pagpasok. At ang patakaran na ito ay isang management prerogative. Yun. Kung kaya't ang kumpanya po ay nagmagawa ng mga polisiya sa pagpapatupad ng pagpapatakbo ng kanyang negosyo.
Okay, for the next question. Pwede po bang tumanggi ang employer na mag-grant ng solo parent leave kung kulang talaga ang tao?
Kasi under the law, no, ng solo parent, kailangang i-notify naman talaga ng isang magulang ang kumpanya sa pag-avail niya ng itong benepisyo na ito. Kung kinakailangan talagang magamit ng isang solo parent ang leave na ito, nasa kanya ang karapatan upang ma-avail niya ito. Okay?
Okay. Next question. Can a solo parent avail the special leave kahit wala ka pang solo parent ID?
Ang special leave benefit naman ay iba sa solo. Ang special leave benefit na tinutukoy ba dito ay yung Magna Carta. Ang Magna Carta law naman, kung sakali, ito ay ma-avail kung mag-undergo ng gynecological disorder. So whether or not, isa kang solo parent at kinakailangan mo mag-undergo ng surgery due to gynecological disorder, ikaw may entitled sa special benefit. Okay?
All right. Next question. RA 9710 or special leave for women, may expiration po ba ang pag-claim?
Kasi taon-taon ang isang kababaihan ay maaaring maka-avail ng hanggang 2 months. So, ibig sabihin, kung December nagkaroon ka ng operasyon, no? At ang nagamit mo lamang ay 20 days para mag-recover, halimbawa, December 10 yun, naoperahan ka, so 20 days na lang ang natitira sa'yo. Ang susunod na gamit mo nun ay next year na. So, ibig sabihin, kada taon, ikaw ay pwede mag-avail ng 60 days leave benefit under the Magna Carta Law. Yan.
Okay, next question. Pwede po ba naming bigyan ng voucher leave si employee kahit hindi naman siya nagreklamo?
Yung voucher leave kasi, ano ito eh, nagfa-file siya ng reklamo sa barangay. Diba? At siya ay magpapakita na siya ay may hearing o halimbawa appointment na kailangan niyang attend sa barangay regarding violence na natamo niya. Okay? So, paano ang kanyang valid reason para ma-avail niya ang voucher leave kung hindi niya ipapakita ang kanyang rason sa paggamit nito? Kung kaya ipapakita niya na ang appointment niya sa punong barangay na siya ay mayroong hearing para ma-avail niya rin naman ang voucher leave. Okay?
Another question. Can a male employee apply for voucher leave who filed a case against the abusive mother on behalf of their child?
Sa panahon ngayon, marami na tayong kaso ng mga nanay na abusado talaga sa mga anak. Di ba? So, syempre, para sa kapakanan ng mga bata na naaabuso ng ina, maaari syempre mag-apply si tatay para maprotektahan niya ang kanyang anak laban sa mother na nag-aabuso sa kanya.
Question. After ma-exhaust ang 10-day leave, pwede ba mag-avail pa ng karagdagang voucher leave kung kinakailangan tulad ng kung patuloy pa din ang pagdinig ng kaso?
Kami naman tayo mga statutory leave benefit, pero under the law, sinasabi nga, merong hanggang 10 araw para ma-avail ang voucher. So, kung kinakailangan pa ma-extend ang hearing ng mga kaso, maaaring din naman siya magpaalam sa kumpanya upang patuloy na maasikaso ang matapos ang final niyang case. Okay?
Alright, sana po na-address po ng ating speaker herself, Ms. Melinda Banaag, ang concerns, queries ng ating mga viewers, especially sa mga nag-post ng questions po. Napakalinaw naman po ang kanyang pagpapaliwanag and very precise po na-recap niya po lahat. So, thank you po sa lahat ng nag-submit ng kanilang mga katanungan. Kung meron po kaming hindi nasagot ngayon, rest assured po na ang aming social media team ay sasagutin ng inyong inquiries later. And that concludes our webinar for today. Sana ang ating mga natutunan ay gamitin upang tayo ay magkaroon ng lipunang patas sa bagong Pilipinas. If you have further questions, you may send us an email through us@bwc.dole.gov.ph or you may call the Dole Hotline 1349. If you wish to know more about the celebration, also please follow our Facebook page, BWC 1949, para maging updated kayo sa iba't ibang issuances, announcements, and activities na inilalabas ng BWC at ng DOLE. And I am Glenn Beltran, your moderator for this program. And in behalf of the Bureau of Working Conditions, thank you for joining us today.
Para sa mga katanungan at karagdagang impormasyon, maaari po tayong tumawag sa Dole Hotline 1349 o sumumbuni sa mga Dole Regional o Field Office na nakakasakop sa inyong lugar paggawa.